I didn't know in advance, but that, they told me what their idea was for him in that role. Fans are going to enjoy hearing his take, on the modern league.
The NBA landscape is about to be shaken by an announcement that could redefine how fans view the modern game. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has revealed something massive. Michael Jordan, the GOAT in the eyes of millions, is stepping back into the spotlight not as a player, but as a voice. This is not just another retired legend giving commentary. This is Jordan, a 6-time NBA champion and cultural icon, preparing to share his unfiltered thoughts on the state of today's NBA. And it is already sending shockwaves across the league. Jordan's return to basketball coverage will not only bring a fresh, brutally honest perspective to the game, but also serve as a litmus test for the integrity, competitiveness, and style of today's stars. If you're a true fan of the sport, you do not want to miss how this story unfolds. Stick around as we break down everything from Adam Silver's bombshell comments to how Jordan's insights could expose both the strengths and weaknesses of today's NBA. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to NBA Showdown, and let us know in the comments. Do you think today's NBA is ready for Jordan's truth? Adam Silver kicked off the announcement by admitting something that instantly set the tone. He shared that when the NBA initially proposed bringing Michael Jordan into modern coverage, he simply wished them luck. That reaction alone tells us everything we need to know about the magnitude of this development. Michael Jordan is not someone who gets involved just for the sake of it. His legacy is too colossal, his time too valuable, and his standard for excellence too high. The commissioner, who typically maintains composure in every press interaction, essentially admitted that even he doubted it would happen. That disbelief wasn't rooted in Jordan being aloof, it was about how selective and serious he is when attaching his name to anything NBA. If the greatest player of all time decides to come back and speak on the state of the league, it won't be for show, it will be to deliver a message. Silver's skepticism wasn't just about Jordan's reluctance, it was a reflection of how careful the league has to be in engaging someone of that stature. And now that it's confirmed, it's clear this move is not surface-level entertainment, it's about putting the league under a microscope, one that Jordan himself will be holding.
You mean just now, just this announcement they're bringing him back? They told me they were going to try, and I said, good luck. I honestly didn't think he was going to do it.
Silver's next comment put everything in perspective. He explained that it took decades to get Jordan to agree to participate in the Last Dance documentary. That revelation carries serious weight. If a project chronicling Jordan's own career required years of persuasion, imagine what it took to convince him to speak on players not even from his era. This comparison highlights just how significant Jordan's voice will be in this new role. He is not someone who craves the spotlight, he is calculated, disciplined, and deeply rooted in competitive principles. The Last Dance was an intimate exploration of his legacy, and it still took an enormous amount of effort to get him on board. So if he's now voluntarily stepping forward to assess the current NBA, fans should take it seriously. It signals a rare moment of transparency from someone who usually lets his legacy speak for itself. The fact that he's agreed to break that silence and analyze today's game means one thing. He has something to say, something important. And based on Silver's tone, it's likely to be blunt, unapologetic, and possibly uncomfortable for some of today's biggest names. Because if it took decades for him to speak on himself, but he's ready now to speak on others, then he probably sees something in the league that needs addressing.
It took us, as you know, decades to convince him to do the documentary.
Then came the bombshell. Adam Silver shared that he personally spoke with Jordan about this upcoming venture, where Jordan will provide live reviews and analysis on modern games and players. And the GOAT sounded genuinely excited. That one detail changes everything. This isn't a scripted or forced partnership. Jordan is not being dragged into a studio to do PR for the league. He is eager. That eagerness suggests something else entirely. Jordan wants to re-engage with the game because he feels he has something to contribute, not commercially, but intellectually and emotionally. The idea that he is now staying current with today's NBA hints at one thing: Jordan is watching, learning, and preparing. If he's tuning in closely to modern games, then he's gathering data, forming opinions, and getting ready to drop them live. This isn't going to be nostalgia talking. It's going to be someone who has immersed himself in today's basketball and who will judge it through the lens of excellence, competition, and legacy. When Silver said Jordan is excited, he wasn't just talking about energy. He was talking about Jordan sharpening his insights and preparing to hold players accountable. That type of engagement is unheard of from someone of Jordan's stature, and it's going to shake the foundations of how we understand the modern game.
You know, I spoke to Michael about it. I mean, he's excited about it. I think for him, it means he's got to stay current.
The next insight from Silver told us exactly what motivates Jordan in this new role. He said that Jordan is super passionate about the idea, and that his motivation is not rooted in nostalgia or branding. It's about ensuring the game is played the right way. That phrase, the right way, is absolutely crucial. It speaks to Jordan's deeper philosophy about basketball. This is not a man who is going to glorify flashy highlights or player antics. He's going to assess the fundamentals, the mentality, and the integrity of the competition. Jordan doesn't just want to talk hoops, he wants to preserve it. He still has massive business interests in the sport through the Jordan brand, so his investment is both emotional and practical. When he sees a dip in competitiveness or an erosion of the game's essence, he will speak on it, not to trend online, but to protect the thing he helped elevate. Silver confirmed that Jordan's return is not just for views or ratings, it's for the soul of the sport. And if Jordan thinks that the league needs recalibrated, you better believe that players, coaches, and executives will be paying close attention. Because when the GOAT talks, the league listens.
He's so passionate about it. I mean, we talk about it all the time. I mean, he wants the game to be played the right way.
When Adam Silver stated that Michael Jordan watches a lot of basketball and that he knows what defines him still, it added an extra layer of intrigue to this entire update. This wasn't just an offhand comment about Jordan being aware of today's league. It was a confirmation that Jordan continues to keep a close eye on the evolution of the game. For someone of Jordan's stature, that matters. It signals that he hasn't detached himself from the sport that made him a global icon. He is still studying the game. He is still dissecting performances. He is still judging what meets the standard of greatness and what falls short. And perhaps most importantly, he is aware that his name still carries weight. Jordan doesn't just watch as a fan, he watches as a former king assessing his kingdom. Silver's words also suddenly highlight something critical. Jordan knows the difference between what the game was and what it is now. He knows what made him feared, respected, and successful, and he can clearly see which players today reflect those traits and which do not. That awareness will be at the core of his commentary. This won't be a man throwing out random takes or catering to social media. This will be one of the greatest competitors in history, calling out what aligns with real greatness and what doesn't. And make no mistake, when Jordan speaks on what defines him, he's reminding the world of the benchmark he set. It's a subtle warning to today's stars, that their legacies will be scrutinized by someone who's lived the pinnacle of excellence. He's not coming back to congratulate everyone, he's coming back to set the record straight. In a league often driven by narratives and online hype, Jordan's return promises an unfiltered dose of truth, one that today's NBA may or may not be ready for.
He watches a lot of basketball, and you know, he knows it's what defines him still.
Silver's reference to social media reaching 1 billion views globally since the finals started gives us a glimpse into the modern engine of the NBA and how Jordan's presence could electrify it even further. Today, the league isn't just about what happens on the court. It's about what goes viral. The clips, the tweets, the debates, they all form part of the ecosystem that fuels player brands and league engagement. And now, into this firestorm of digital attention steps Michael Jordan, a man who achieved immortality without ever needing a social media account. Jordan's arrival into today's fast-moving digital culture is about to create a new storm. Unlike many current analysts who often aim to avoid controversy, Jordan isn't bound by modern media norms. He doesn't need approval, likes, or retweets. His legacy speaks louder than any trending hashtag. That makes him uniquely powerful in today's NBA coverage. Every time he speaks, it will not only spark conversation, it will dominate it. What Silver implies is that the league knows the power of social media and sees Jordan's return as a way to supercharge that influence. But here's the catch. Jordan won't cater to trends. Instead, his brutal honesty may challenge some of the narratives that dominate online discussion. He might not praise the most popular names. He might even question the very values the modern NBA thrives on. That tension between Jordan's old-school mindset and the current digital spectacle will be must-watch content. Jordan's re-entry into a billion-view ecosystem is not just about bringing attention to the NBA. It's about reshaping how attention is earned. If someone of his magnitude enters the spotlight and challenges the hype, the impact could be seismic. Fans are going to listen. But more importantly, players will be forced to reevaluate what kind of legacy they're really building.
Social media is high on our priority list. I mean, first of all, we've had something like 1 billion globally on social media since the finals have started. But also, to get back to your ratings point.
The final quote from Adam Silver, where he says that fans will enjoy hearing Jordan's take on the modern league, wraps this announcement in a tone of anticipation and subtle caution, because what Jordan has to say isn't going to be sugar-coated. It's not going to follow the typical safe commentary that dominates so much of sports coverage today. This is Michael Jordan. When he speaks, it's with conviction, precision, and zero tolerance for mediocrity. For fans, this is a dream come true. Many feel that the current NBA lacks the edge, physicality, and killer instinct that defined the golden eras. And now, one of the fiercest competitors the game has ever seen is about to give his perspective. But here's what makes this monumental. Jordan isn't returning to merely entertain. He's coming back to analyze, to evaluate, and possibly to criticize. Not to divide, but to elevate. Silver's statement about fans enjoying Jordan's take is more than promotional hype. It's a promise that what's coming will be real. Jordan is not beholden to sponsors or storylines. His only loyalty is to the game itself. And when he begins to share his thoughts on today's stars, the way the game is played, and how legacies are formed, it's going to cut through the noise. This isn't just entertainment, it's accountability. For players who've risen in an era shaped by highlight reels and metrics, hearing Jordan speak on effort, mindset, and winning may feel like a hard truth. But for true basketball fans, it will be a revelation. The GOAT isn't returning to celebrate what's popular, he's returning to uphold what's right. That, more than anything, is what makes this upcoming project one of the most significant moments in modern basketball media.
Globally on social media since the finals have started. But also, to get back to your ratings point.
Michael Jordan's return to basketball coverage isn't just news. It's a cultural reset. From Adam Silver's guarded excitement to Jordan's own passion for doing this right, every signal points to something deeper than content. This is about the GOAT stepping back into the spotlight to measure today's league by the only standard that ever mattered: greatness. In a time where narratives often outweigh performance and hype can overshadow heart, Jordan's voice brings clarity, it brings authenticity, and perhaps most importantly, it brings fearlessness. Fans will tune in for the nostalgia, but they'll stay for the insight. Players might start out eager for his approval, but many will end up uncomfortable with his judgment. That's what makes it so necessary. The modern NBA has thrived on image, but now it faces the ultimate evaluator of substance. Jordan's words will not just inform, they will challenge. As this new chapter unfolds, the league and its stars must prepare for scrutiny unlike any they've faced before. Because when Michael Jordan speaks, it's not about opinion, it's about truth. And the modern NBA, whether it's ready or not, is about to hear. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell on NBA Showdown so you don't miss what's next. Let us know in the comments, what do you think Jordan's first take will be on today's stars?